One thing I know as an immigration lawyer is that the Trump administration is going to make it harder for my clients to get their green card. So in this video, I'm going to be telling you the 3 things you need to do from jump to set yourself up for a smooth green card process. I am U.S. immigration attorney Lilian Chukwurah, and I help my clients get green cards and citizenships for themselves and their families using the U.S. immigration law system. The first thing you need to do, if you have not done this already, because I have been talking about this, is to get a copy of your immigration file. If you have ever filed anything with USCIS, if you have ever had any interactions with US immigration, you want to make sure you take this step because you don't want to be in a situation where something in your past can come back and hunt you and you don't even know about it. Okay? So you want to make sure that you have your file if you have ever had interactions with US immigration. If you have had immigration court cases, you want to also make sure you get a copy of your file. Why does this matter? If you had a court case and it was administratively closed versus being dismissed versus you having a removal order, right? Those 3 things can happen in a deportation case. But in order for you to get a green card, you need to know which one of those things happen so that you know what you can and cannot actually do. Right? Knowing what you qualify for, knowing what you can and cannot do, or at least knowing what steps you need to take to get you to that green card is so important. So if you do not have that information, get the information, okay? Another set of documents you want to get at this stage is any criminal records, okay? If you have been arrested, if you have been charged, even if you were not convicted, even if whatever happened with that case, we need the court disposition. USCIS is going to want that court disposition because it's going to tell them whether the charge, the conviction, whatever it may be, has an immigration consequence. Does it make you inadmissible? That's always the question. And if you had a criminal record that makes you inadmissible, that means you can file the green card application, but you cannot actually get approved because you have this thing on your record that makes you inadmissible. And also, if that thing makes you deportable, USCIS will refer you to immigration court and have you now be in deportation proceedings. So it is so important that you deal with this on the front end and you're not at the interview and the officer is telling you I'm going to deny you because you're inadmissible. Right? You don't want that to be the time that you know that this thing could potentially be a problem. Another major thing, going back to getting your file from USCIS, if you are filing a green card application through marriage and you've had a prior green card application through marriage denied, you need to get that record and you need to make sure you know exactly why it was denied. Okay, there's some cases that USCIS denies because they didn't have enough documentation of the relationship, and then there's some cases that USCIS deny because they believe that the marriage is fake. Now, if they deny it because they don't think you have enough documentation, that is not the same thing as saying that the marriage is fake. One can be fixed, the other is very hard to fix. So it's really important that you know all of these things ahead of time and you prepare for it. Now, how do you prepare for this? Let's go to step 2. The next thing you want to do is to make sure that you meet and have a consultation with an immigration lawyer. Why does that matter, right? Why should you even bother? In the age of Trump, where immigrants and people going through immigration process are being targeted and being assumed to be lying, you want to make sure that you have all the protection that you need. So when you have all those documents, right, the copy of your immigration file, the criminal dispositions, and all those things, now when you have a consultation with an immigration lawyer, they can go through all of those things and come up with a game plan specifically for you, right? They will be able to see, okay, you had a previous marriage case that did not end well. This is how you can attack it on this new marriage case, right? You had a criminal conviction, but because it doesn't fall into the inadmissibility issues, right? It does not make you inadmissible. You can move forward with your green card application. There's been situations where I have had to tell someone this will make you inadmissible and also make you deportable. And if you file this application, you're giving USCIS information about you, where to find you, and all of that. So the plan that we came up with for the person was for them to reach out to a criminal defense attorney and try to get that case reopened and thrown out, because they did not get the sufficient immigration warnings of that, how that case, pleading guilty in that case, can affect their immigration status and can lead to them being put in deportation proceedings. So there's certain things that we can kind of see on the front end and give you a plan on how to potentially fix it so that you can then be able to apply for a green card. So you want to do those things ahead of time. You don't want to be doing that in the middle of your filing, okay? You want to make sure you have that cleared and done before you start your filing. Just like if you had a determination from USCIS that your marriage is fake, you want to make sure that you have documentation and evidence of that relationship to be able to prove to this officer that's going to be reviewing your file now that that marriage was real and the officer was mistaken, right? You want to have those things ready to go before you even start the process. And that's why having that consultation with an immigration lawyer can make all the difference in your process. Now that you've met with an immigration lawyer, you have a plan of how you're going to move forward. The next step is to actually execute on that plan, okay? You need to figure out if you're going to be going through that process on your own with an attorney's help, or if it's not the right time to actually start the green card process. And sometimes, like I said, it may not be the right time. There may be steps you need to take first before you go ahead and file that green card application. So it's really important that at this stage, once you've had that consultation, you sit down with your spouse, with your petitioner, and you have the conversation of, okay, this is the plan. How are we going to execute on this plan? Is this the right time for our family to take these steps? One thing I want you to keep in mind with the immigration process is when you are given information, voluntarily given information to USCIS, they can use that information against you. All right. So if you overstay the visa and you're filing a green card application, could USCIS potentially give that information to ICE and ICE use that as an opportunity to pick you up? Yes. However, if you have a strong case, you want to make sure that you are taking those steps to file, because you will have an opportunity to then apply for a green card and all of that, even if ICE comes after you for being an overstay. One thing I want you to keep in mind is once you have a plan, taking action on that plan is the next step, okay? If you qualify for a green card through your spouse, you want to make sure you're filing that as soon as possible, especially if you do not have current legal status in the US. Okay, if you do not have legal status in the US, you want to make sure you have a plan and that you're moving forward with that plan as soon as possible, because again, we don't know what's going to happen a month from now. Right? We don't know what changes are going to happen in US immigration, but what we do know is that today, right? Today, you qualify for that thing. And that's what I've been telling people that I have consultations with is, yes, the future is unknown, but what we can focus on is what's going on today. Do you qualify for a green card today? And if the plan shows that you qualify for a green card today, you want to go ahead and start that process and not wait because, again, you don't know what the future is going to be. And you don't want to rely on, the hope that things will get better and then you'll be able to apply then. If you qualify today, take the steps and get yourself on a path to getting your green card. Because guess what? Once you have your green card, you have a more stable and secure status than you did before. And the goal for you should be to get a stable and secure status in the US if you want to stay in the US. And those are the 3 steps you need to take before you file your green card application in the age of Trump. The first one, you need to get your files from USCIS, from immigration court, from criminal court. You need to have all of those things ready for step 2, which is having a consultation with an immigration lawyer that will review those things and give you a plan of if you qualify for a green card, these are the steps you need to take. And finally, on step 3, you want to make sure that you are executing on that plan, taking steps to get yourself from where you are today to getting a green card. If you're out there and you're like, I want to do this, I want to take the first step, but I don't know how to get a copy of my immigration file, I don't know, getting a consultation, all those things, well, you can reach out to us. We do offer a service where we will pull your records for you with US immigration and be able to see exactly what happened in your past and how it could potentially affect your ability to get a green card. So feel free to schedule a strategy session with me or a detailed consultation, whichever works best for you. And you can do that by going to my website, lilylegal.com, and clicking on Contact Us, where you can pick a date and time that works best for you for us to chat. So with that consultation, we can take care of step 2 for you. And then if we decide to work together, we can now start working on step 3 with you. So feel free to schedule that strategy session with me. Stay safe out there and continue working towards your goal to getting your green card and having a stable and secure status in the US.